So this next part is gonna be, it's gonna be fun. So basically, for this next part, see those yellow named pufferfish down there? Well, first off, you're gonna want to click on this glowing membrane here. You're going to get that debuff, or else you can't breathe underwater. But that pufferfish, you're gonna want to kill it, and then the green cloud that spawns from it, you're gonna want to stand in that.
Need another person to click on portal.
Okay. So that debuff that you get from the pufferfish allows you to be healed. Otherwise, you will not be able to get healed at all during this next boss fight.
Oh god, I just missed it.
So make sure you get that before you do anything else. And when we get down there to the boss, we're gonna be switching at 10 seconds left on the debuff.
Why did I run so fast?
I will explain the rest of the fight when we get down there. I will say that you can't stack on anyone during this fight.
Yes, you can. It's just
No,
not
yeah.
recommended.
Stack on mid.
Yep, stack on me and kill everybody.
Why does fighting things go so fast like that? Why is he jumping? Why is he getting me jump?
Interrupt.
I don't know, Johnson. I don't know. I fucking don't know. I still don't know. I wish you would
The
jump
magic
stop.
source is nearby, but proceed
killing me.
carefully. Ajara will not have left it unguarded.
Hey Dom,
Yes.
does your friend need the Discord?
Which friend?
Oh no.
For Fort Garrison?
Oh no, that's Tony. He's here.
Oh, okay.
Just can't get rid of the guy.
Trust me, we've tried. Fucking
Alright.
Canadians are like cockroaches.
So, see, gaze from below if you swim over the chasm. There's a fish down there. He wants to eat you. And that debuff that you get from the pufferfish puts a beacon on you that, basically shows your position to him. So, fuck off.
How about when I wake up, I can
So,
talk to Yankee? How about when
Rust
I
off.
wake up?
Did you
So-
see
When
me
I
shoot
wake
that
up, I
fish?
can talk to Yanka. Westo.
No.
How about when I wake up?
Okay, you go to bed when you wake up, okay?
Alright, so, this fight takes place in 3 phases. First phase, we start here. We're going to kill the pufferfish, DPS the boss down until 10 seconds on the debuff, switch to the other pufferfish that's on the far side over here, and then we're going to go back on the boss, and then he's going to transition, hopefully when we get him around 60%. Then he's going to go over to the next platform, which is straight down from this area. You're going to see it over there. Wait for your debuff to fall off if it hasn't already, and then swim over. Then we're going to do the same thing over there. Kill the pufferfish, get the debuff, kill the boss, switch to the pufferfish at 10 seconds, kill the boss. And make sure you get the debuff before you go back to the boss. The next part's going to be really tricky because for melee, the boss does a pushback. And this big platform on this phase and the third phase is, it doesn't matter, it's not that hard. But the next one, there's a gap. in between the
Morning.
front and the back platforms,
You
you are gonna need to watch where your positioning is, because you will get eaten if you're not careful. So make sure you're doing everything you can to stay out of the gaping chasm.
Daddy's being the chicken man.
Um,
Daddy
shut up.
Wow, man.
I love that. Papa.
So
I like
after the second phase, he's gonna go to the third phase
Very nice.
at around maybe 30-40%,
Yeah, but we
and
call
it's gonna be
this
rinse and
guys
repeat.
and
Pufferfish, boss, pufferfish, boss. If by some chance the debuff runs out before we're able to get him to transition, use defensives.
and
Do anything you can to save yourself that doesn't heal, because you will be wasting it after the debuff wears off. So at that point, you just don't even worry about it.
Straight up damage reduction on them.
Yep. Damage reduction only on the defensives if you have it.
Just playing with that fish.
That's basically it for this fight. It's just the pufferfish, the boss, the gaping chasm, and the thing down below.
Go, go, go.
As soon as everybody hits ready, we shall begin. Alright. Full timer going out? Oh, I said full timer.
Full time.
I know, I did the wrong thing.
You said no night chicken man, right?
But
You did.
What did the chicken say?
alright, everybody on the boss.
The chicken man.
Spread out, make sure you're not stacked on anyone.
He said the night that
Yeah, chicken man.
Yeah,
chicken
less now.
man.
While everybody's got their
2, 1.
cooldown, so
I think he
there's a pushback.
on the
Alright,
daddy
not yet.
computer. That's Daddy's owl.
Switch to the next pufferfish now.
Daddy's owl. Daddy's owl.
Get the debuff, go back on the boss.
Owl, that's so funny right there.
If we can get him lower than 60%, that's great. If not, then I will blame.
Blame me, blame me.
1.
Blame Brittany.
Too late. I already said Link.
But it's Brittany, bitch.
You're a badger.
Alright. Cool. Make sure you get the debuff off before you swim over, or wait for it to fall off. And do not touch the jellyfish.
No, definitely touch a jellyfish. It's a haste buff.
It is not.
Touch the jellyfish.
Definitely a haste buff.
Pufferfish first.
Who are you gonna bleed? The raid leader or some random trolley?
Obviously the hunter, because they're always right.
Right?
Because
Trolls
they're
are
always
always what
huntards.
you should follow.
Hunters are called huntards for reasons.
Target you.
Okay, you're a badger. Go to bed. I love you. Go be a badger somewhere else.
I mean, I love you, dumb.
I love me too.
Okay, that's too much.
4, 3, 2.
little too mushy in here.
Switch to the next pufferfish. It's gonna be on this back platform on the left or right.
I don't wanna. That costs me a lot of damage.
Watch out for the gaze from below.
4, 3, 2, 1. AOE incoming.
You guys really seem homophobic sometimes.
I don't know what I said.
Owie.
All I was doing was explaining the fight.
Y'all got this.
Why'd you die?
3, 2,
That
1.
seemed like the thing to do at the time.
Apparently. Use defensives, but no healing. Just damage reduction. Well,
Ah, I died in turtle.
keep it going.
Phase change.
Why
Did
are
he
so
just
many dead?
transition at like 3%? We took the second buffer too early, so we went through
Jesus
like
Christ.
20 seconds. So
Was it too
No
early? I
healing.
called it at 10 seconds. Or should we do 5 seconds?
I think it was
Huh.
more like
it's not about
15.
when you call it, because calling it at 10
That's
seconds
when
is fine. It
Mick
just
called
died.
it.
4,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Interrupt.
Target you.
You guys got this.
Jesus. Sweet relief of death.
Just keep going.
2, 1.
4%. I have faith in you guys.
Keep going till the last cookie crumbles. Oh!
Hello, my name is Cookie.
Good job, guys. Proud of you all.
I
don't think that-
release all the way back up top.
I don't think a diver's folly's ever dropped from a demon hunter before.
I'm gonna go get my loot because I'm selfish.
Oh, that looks
Two
pretty
of 'em.
cool.
I'm just kidding. I'm never selfish.
Uh-huh.
Oh?
Wrath, is that for a roll they just threw out there?
I can't trade the chest because it was a roll. Or I used a bonus roll.
Fuck my luck.
Oh, restaurant of
Fucking resto.
Well done. Now
At least he does that to make me feel a little bit better.
the sooner we do so,
I don't
Unless
think
you'd
that was
rolled
the
a 4.
point, DQ.
He couldn't get higher than a 4. Even Keys couldn't get higher than a 4 with that.
But that was also a 1 in 5 chance.
Did somebody already click this?
I already
No
did.
click.
Oh.
I didn't even get shit
That's,
from that. I'm just...
Navari for the Leviathan's lore.
Who
Oh,
won
shit.
that
Here's my
roll
bonus
anyway?
roll.
Was that Lananord, I think, won that roll?
Yeah.
Or who? No.
I think DQ and Lan were the ones that were actually rolling for it, and everybody else was just messing around.
No, because
Actually,
Oh,
no, Mike DH.
Mike DH.
Oh.
Mike
won.
DH. I was about to say.
I am so sorry, Mike. I am really sorry.
Well, this is why I was asking. I wanted to make
No, he's
sure.
not. Just don't let him lie to you. He's not.
I'm
Okay, bye behind me. I'm just gonna take off.
You know, we might as well kill this trash here instead of skipping it.
Oh, sad face.
Damn it, come back.
Oh god, warriors are so slow.
yeah, unless you take Bounding Stride.
Oh, rip to oh.
We've got tanks pulling back here from.
I do have Bounding Stride, but it's still fucking shitty.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, true. That's why
I
prayed
mean-
for there to be like mobs some places so I can just like charge and just fucking run that.
I mean, it could be worse. We could be DKs or Pallies.
Fuck that. And they're fucking slow, that's what.
Mobility is not their strong suit.
Pallies have constant movement.
I mean,
What?
yeah. Oh yeah, they got Crusaders aura. Did you
Yeah,
already get
that
the
ain't
orb done?
shit.
As soon as Oracle's dead, the honor guard should be focused next. They hit the tanks the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Hard.
the druids can
It's the healers, something.
call
Do.
them. Shoot them.
Oh, that's possible.
Does anybody happen to have an extra tome? This dude's only set up for PvP, and I forgot about that.
There was one put down for the boss that we just did.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention back then, which is normal for me.
Oh. Because you're in bed. You're extra not paying attention. Uh oh.
I know because I'm
Resto
nice and
DC.
cozy. If anything, I can just hearth out and then just fly back in.
Did Resto DC or did he just log
I
off?
have a tome with you.
Wait. Mike, are you asking what? I don't I don't understand what you're saying. Maybe I'm just tired.
Sounds like somebody needs to go to bed.
Oh, he
I'll be right
got
back.
the
I'll
belt
fly my
on
ass back
boss.
in here.
It dropped for him. That's what I think he's saying.
So I think the next winner would have been Lananord. Yeah, Lananord had the next highest roll.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now.
Druids, please help to the honor.
Welcome back, Resto.
Your tanks will love you forever for.
For this next pack, I just kill the honor guard and then cleave everything else. Even the what? Yep. Cleave it all. He may look scary just because he's big and muscular, but he's actually quite cuddly.
I don't want to cuddle with that.
Where's your sense of adventure, man?
It falls right below the priority list of my sense of survival.
Well, he only gets a little handsy.
Yeah, and have you seen them? They're bigger than my body.
But you're a muscular orc, you can take it.
He just
You
wants
see
to
me?
pound
I
you.
am currently an ugly fish person.
All that Bert wants to do mid is pound you. Keeps trying.
I'm gonna have to pass that on to Charlie.
Yeah, I think you got Mitt and Charlie confused.
Where's your sense of adventure, Mitt?
I don't look. My sense of adventure comes into play when you're the one doing the pounding. All right.
Whoa!
Well then.
Kinky.
I need an adult.
I am an
I
adult.
am an
Sounds way
adult.
too fast.
It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it.
You do.
Well,
I'm sure it's an HD.
good. Because I'm
I can't
not.
even
I,
think of something smart to say to that.
Hey, someone got a POE.
All right. So, pay attention to what each of these three ads do. Each one of these abilities that these ads will cast, the big ones, the named ads, is going to be an ability casted by the boss during the fight. This one, I think this one does the arcane bomb. That one, you want to run out of the raid, and then you want to call your name for dispels. Don't do that. You won't get dispelled. And then you'll start hating the healers because they didn't dispel you because you didn't call your fucking name.
And then the brood will compound you.
And then
You
Charlie
get
will
added.
videotape it.
Namasaria,
Namasaria,
Which
Garrosh,
one's more distant?
Gath, Olada, Garland, Lewid, Fenris, Valley.
What are you
So-
talking about?
He's listing off people as if we have no vocal cords.
This next one has an ability that knocks you back like so. You want to position yourself and face a direction where you're not going to get knocked back into the water. Because it will damage you and it will slow you down and keep you in there longer. So make sure you keep your back turned to... It's basically like Maiden from Tomb of Sargeras. If you ever did that.
Only
Thor, I
there's
know you
no
did.
hole that falls to your down.
Yeah. There's only
I used
water
to
that
love
slows you
watching
down.
people to fall to their death.
Baby.
This next one... I forgot what this next one does.
Tornado.
Oh no, tornadoes.
Rito
So...
Tornado.
Watch where you're standing on this one. If you drop a tornado on the tanks, they will not like you at all.
And I will yell.
So,
Alright, who the fuck got
Well, I know it wasn't me because I'm not even in the raid right now.
where are you?
I went back to fucking change my talents.
Oh my
I
god.
tried to trade you a tone.
Oh, I just said fuck it. I just literally went back. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I go outlaw. I'll do this. I'll do
Okay,
this.
can we? So let's just
I'm almost there, dude. Don't worry about it.
let's
I
drop a
told you.
closet. Let's drop a closet.
I can get that quickly.
No, you
I
Don't
can't.
worry about me. I have
No.
light.
Only DQ
Nope.
will come out
DQ.
of the closet.
DQ's coming out of the closet.
But I finally got flying.
Finally.
leaving the military?
These tornadoes,
I've
they
had
kind of
one.
sound like laundry machines.
Shoot, I had
All right.
flying. I had flying before I left.
You ever just sat beside a laundry machine and listened to it spin? That's what it sounds like.
Every sat
Why-
on a washing machine playing video games.
Why would you just sit down and listen to a washing machine?
I'm so tired.
It's actually, it's like one of those, it's like one of those tones, like, you know, binaural beats.
Doggy.
Yep.
It's one of those tones that can actually help put a baby to sleep.
Put up, baby.
Maybe.
Yeah, like a blow dryer.
All right, so you saw those three abilities. Good. Now, watch out for them while this fight happens. I'm gonna mark the tanks. Do not run in front of the tanks. We're gonna be going counterclockwise as one group. If you run in front of the tanks, tornadoes will drop in front of them, and it will make it harder for them to do their job.
And I will yell.
Again. So make sure you don't stand in front of them, and make sure you drop tornadoes behind them constantly. In addition to the arcane bomb, the gale, and the tornadoes, there's also going to be an ad that appears throughout the fight. he will be on the either the left or the right, or even directly behind the boss, if there's not a tank over there. So wherever we're not is where the ad will spawn. We're gonna have to prioritize the big ad over everything else because the boss the damage reduction is like 99% when the ad is out. So kill the ad first. If you're the first one over there and you don't see a tank over there, do not interrupt the ad because it will kill you. No questions asked. So make sure you wait for a tank to get over there before you interrupt. Or better yet, just let the tank interrupt when they get over there. After the ad is dead, cleave these smaller ads down the entire time and go back on the boss. And just rinse and repeat.
You forgot the part where we kill it with fire.
You could try. It's water, but you can try killing it with fire.
It would just turn
We don't have a
theme, and it would be amazing.
I believe Mokay is an arcane mage, so he can't kill it with fire because he's not a fire mage.
Okay, switching to my 111.
Arcane is very hot.
Mokay's gonna kill this thing with science.
Wait. I know how we kill it with fire. 1 second.
E equals MC squared. Science.
All right.
Corehound will kill it with fire for us.
I can dispel myself, so don't. Oh wait, should I dismiss my pet? My minion?
What minion do you have?
Him. He just
No, you're good.
Use
No.
your imp and dispel yourself. I don't think the imp can blow off the arcane bomb though.
Yeah, just stick with the imp. You'll be fine.
Go.
Alright, here we go. Just don't get in front of the tanks.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And
4, 3, 2,
4,
1.
3, 2, 1.
just move every time you see a tornado. And also move with the tanks. Don't get far behind because you will. It's easy to outrange the healers on this fight. Bombs get out. Bombs get out. Bombs get out. Yeah, Bad's about to drop a bomb.
Taunt boss. 4, 3, 2, 1. AOE incoming. 2, 1. Run out.
Dispel Fenders.
Taunt
Yeah.
boss. 4, 3, 2, 1. AOE incoming.
2, 1.
Bombs get out.
Boo, either heal yourself or get in range of the healers.
Taunt boss. 4, 3,
Yeah, Charlie.
2, 1. AOE incoming.
This isn't Call of Duty. Just kidding.
4,
But it's
3,
not.
2, 1.
It's coming out. It's going to be on the right side.
Static bow.
Everybody to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right.
Position yourself by the stairs.
Yeah, you're gonna want to get in this darkness area because it does push you back if you're outside. Just cleave the smaller ads.
Nice here.
I don't think we got a single knockback there.
2, 1.
No, we didn't. We killed him too fast. That's awesome. Oh shit. Dispel on Fenders. Dispel on. Thank you.
Taunt boss.
Four,
Four, three, two, one. AOE incoming.
Hey, sir.
Taunt boss. 4, 3, 2, 1. AOE incoming.
2, 1.
Try not to get too far ahead of the tanks. Let them take the lead on leading us around this platform.
I do what I want.
Taunt boss.
The fuck you do?
4, 3, 2, 1.
4,
AOE
3,
incoming.
2, 1.
Dispel
Ruckus.
What's yours?
Taunt boss. 4, 3, 2, 1. AOE incoming.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Ad's coming out. Get ready to switch.
Phase change.
Right side.
Stay by the stairs again. Just in case he does buff at us.
Charlie, you're gonna die.
Get that out, get that out, get that out. We're sitting there.
Did Charlie DC or did he fall asleep?
Maybe he's
4,
staying.
3,
Is he contemplating life?
4, 3, 2,
4,
1.
3, 2, 1.
Bombs, get out.
AOE incoming. Taunt boss.
4,
4, 3, 2, 1. AOE incoming.
Good job. Not a single death.
Damn. For the fucking mace there, but
The fact that we were able to kill that one ad before it could do a buffet on the first one is a pretty good sign for Ashvane.
I hope so, yeah.
You want to click the button, Blake? Should I throw a glaive now? Just kidding.
On the bright side, I'm level 400.
Oh, I intend to. I merely wanted our guests to bear witness to your glorious ascension.
Oh, fuck off, whoever did that. Oh, I know who did it.
Must be powerful, Priscilla. Consider our bargain complete.
Phase change.
Don't charge in. We're not actually pulling.
Taunt boss.
4.
So, this fight's fun. Basically, tanks are going to be kiting the boss around this edge of the area here. during the fight, there's going to be corals that pop up. We're going to get... We're probably going to have to 3-phase this, honestly, if we can't. Oh, actually, no, we have to 2-phase it. Never mind. So 6 random people will get 3 colors above their heads. You match those with your partner. Each of you take at minimum 2 corals if you can. You're gonna have to put the corals in between you and your partner. And make sure you don't stack up on corals. If someone else has them, go to different corals. Once those corals break, and we need to have at least 4 or 5 broken on the first one, then go back to DPSing the boss. Bubbles. Same thing with the bubbles on the way here. If you get the bubble on you, you're gonna get the bubble on you. You're gonna, as well as one of the tanks, you stack on the tank and make sure no one else is in the circle. Everybody else, once the bubbles are down, DPS them and get them out as quick as they can. The corals will also spawn their own bubbles. We're going to need to intercept those before they get to the boss, because the boss will cast a spell that gives her a shield, and we have to break that shield. And if the bubbles from the corals get to her, it'll strengthen the shield, and it'll take us that much longer to get her killed. Yes, the bubbles that trap you take out of the raid. The bubbles that come from the corals, stand in front of. Make sure they don't touch the boss. The only time you want to ignore the coral bubbles is when the shield is broken. We will be lusting on the second shield break, depending on how this pearl goes. So make sure to save your 3-minute cooldowns for the lust phase. While the tanks are kiting the boss, she's going to be dropping the looks like grass, basically, and you don't want to stand in it because it will hurt you. It'll say mean things and it'll keep you trapped there, and you'll just want to die. So don't stand in it. One of the tanks, if you have spell damage absorptions, you will be able to cheese it and stack 2 of the grasses on each other. So we can do that. But other than that, if we can't get her down before the 3rd phase, we're not going to be able to get her down, and we're just going to have to wipe it and start over. So, yeah. Also, here's a feast. Make sure you're all fooded up. And let's give this a go. Are there any questions? All right. Ready to check going out?
I guess the Firbolg doesn't actually lay down.
No, he just squats. All right. Pull timer's going out. Save your 3-minute cooldowns for the lust phase. All you DPSers.
5, 4, 3.
You can use 3-minute cooldowns on the poles and have them up for the burn.
Taunt boss.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Watch me.
How long I've waited for that.
4, 3, 2,
Remember,
1.
bubbles from that are not from the coral. Those bubbles stack on the tank and move out of the raid.
4,
Everybody on the bubbles, kill the bubbles.
1.
Watch me.
Good job.
Taunt boss. Phase change.
Alright. Ignore the bubbles from the corals. Just ignore them for now.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Azerite is mine to wield.
Break the corals? Actually, no, never mind. Stay.
No, break them, break them.
Oh shit, yeah, there's too many out.
This is just the first burn page. You always want to break them.
3, 2,
Yeah.
1.
That's my bad. I think we fucked up now because of me. Stack on them. Everybody on the bubbles?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Taunt boss.
Good job. Alright, break corals. Wow. We still got 2 up.
3, 2.
That's still doable.
Phase change.
The lizard will be right back. I gotta go wake up some.
Alrighty. Oh, we got our 60%. It's not bad.
3, 2, 1.
Watch me.
Bring her back just a little bit. Ah, never mind. We're fine.
4, 3, 2, 1. Taunt boss.
Stack up on bubbles.
4, 3,
Kill the bubbles.
2, 1.
Watch me. Taunt boss.
Kill bubbles.
They're dead.
Watch way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Taunt boss.
Stack bubbles. Save main beams for the bubbles.
How long I've waited for that.
Taunt boss.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Watch change.
Alright, lost.
Now ignore the mechanics.
Don't touch any of the bubbles.
Don't touch bubbles, don't break corals, just focus boss.
4, 3, 2,
How long I've waited. Azerite is mine to wield.
Hey, Kelly.
Somebody's got a hot mic.
4, 3, 2, 1. Taunt boss.
Stack those. Get them out of the raid.
Watch your feet.
I was gonna make
Watch
that.
your feet. Watch your
Just let me die and then res me, it'll be easier.
2.
Watch your taunt boss.
Alright.
Watch your feet. Watch your feet.
We need to kill her right now.
Watch your feet.
How long had you waited?
Oh no.
God damn it.
No, stop healing me. Someone's healing the shit
Nope.
out of me. Which is quite impressive because, like, I should 100% be dead right now.
All right,
Oh,
we have
shit.
enough. We do have enough room. We do have enough room in this. It's gonna be really tight, but break the corals and we'll try and get this done.
There's no more coral
There's
breaks.
not enough room. Too many fucking corals.
We would have had to
Oh.
have broke those corals in the second phase to even have a shot.
Yeah, to even
Wipe
have a
it,
shot.
wipe it, wipe it, wipe it, wipe it. That wasn't bad, 8%.
Nope. It would have went better if we did the first part right.
I know, I fucked up on the coral calling.
Oh, well, I was gonna drop any names, but yeah.
It's okay, as long as it's me, you could drop my name all you want.
I try not to do that when you're around. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Would you like me to switch to a character that does more damage?
4, 3,
No, I think it was just the mechanics. I think we would have had that.
3, 2, 1.
Although, I do kind of want to bring a Sorbik to Ashvane. This is heroic, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of want to bring a Sorbik just for a chance of like Titan Forge or Warforged Razor.
Sorry.
No worries.
All good.
Not all good. Pay me 100k gold and I'll forgive you.
Do you take IOUs?
Nope.
Because that's all I got.
I am a ginger, so I will accept your soul.
Can I get a rest?
If you can find my soul that Link will roll for me, good luck.
Oh god, I don't want any soul that's been tainted by that shit.
DQ,
Thank you,
you
though.
know they got your soul in a phylactery in some underground vault somewhere.
Question, what's a phylactery?
It's magic.
Whoa, it's magic, you know.
A phylactery is magic, and thus I do not have to explain it.
You know what would be magic? If we never had to hear DQ try and sing it.
And that's what
Actually, we actually have heard DQ sing a full song before. It was a country song.
I feel sorry for you.
No, it was actually fine.
Yeah, if I actually try, I can sing really good. It's just that song I don't know the full words to, so I just sing it shittily for that reason.
It's like drunk karaoke night.
Okay.
I've had those before.
They're fun, aren't they?
Those are the best type of nights, and that's also why I have push to talk activated
there
right
it
now, so I can sing without y'all hearing.
Feast is down.
Thank you.
Come eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump out for a second. I have something going on here.
Alrighty.
Alright, man. Take care.
I'll just AFK out here. You carry me.
My back hurts today, so.
Where's Floki?
I don't know.
Is he asleep?
He was on earlier this morning.
He works third shift, so he might be asleep.
Oh. Okay.
He's usually on in the mornings if you want to run with him. He's usually on till about 1 server time. He'll probably try and
Gotcha.
show up to raid more in the new on the. But he really cares mostly about mythic buffs.
5, 4, 3,
Oh, okay.
2, 1. Phase change.
I'll tear you apart!
Taunt boss.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Watch way.
Oh, Gale Caller's boot is so bad for this fight. Every time I set it down, I get a fucking boost.
3,
Why don't you change?
1.
I don't have anything to change to.
Stack bubbles.
3, 2, 1.
Watch way.
Get all the.
Taunt boss.
Try not to get multiple stacks of the balls on you. It does not feel.
First coral break.
Phase change.
Break them. Even if her shield's down.
Coral breaks only happen when your shield's down.
Do it. Until the.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Azurite is mine to wield!
Go break them. Go break. Try and get him.
4,
So,
3, 2, 1. Taunt boss.
stack. Kill the bubble.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Taunt boss.
Go break corals.
4, 3, 2, 1. Phase change.
6.
Watch way. Four, 3, 2, 1. Torrent boss.
3, 2, 1.
Watch way. Taunt boss.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Watch way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Taunt boss. Taunt boss.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Watch way.
It's got one on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't think so.
No, one of the bubbles hit her.
It did?
Yeah. Her shield's down. Go ahead, Lust. Get these.
Melee from her, Jesus Christ.
Taunt force.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Azerite is mine to wield.
Ignore the corals. Kill.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Taunt force.
Oh.
Get the bubbles out. Get the bubbles out.
Watch your feet.
Oh.
That's why.
Yeah.
I got knocked into that thing.
Taunt force.
Just ignore the corals. Try and get these bubbles.
Four, 3,
1.
Got a shield coming back. Wipe it. Wipe it. That was a bad drop.
My DPS is really low on my lock, so if I want to get, I can get my hunter.
3, 2, 1.
Watch way.
How long I've waited for that.
It's a
Die,
more
friends. Die quickly, friends.
If you want, I can bring in my Death Knight for some higher DPS for this fight, so we can push through it.
I think we would have had it. We've that one bubble drop had.
Watch way.
I just wanted to be
Not
wrapped before I died.
We were still pretty iffy on the DPS.
Let DQ come in and tank for me for a minute.
Okay.
Someone coming into tank now.
I guess, yeah.
Phase.
Bree, if you want to go grab your, you don't need anything off boss warlock. Grab your hunter.
Well, I forgot Azir left, so I'm the only lock now.
Yeah, you should keep your lock. That way you can get more cookies.
That way I can grab cookies before I get on my own.
Likes those cookies.
Yeah, I can need cookies for my Death Knight too.
And there's something in the left night.
But someone's a small detail. I just want the cookies.
Charlie, are you bringing a sorbet?
What am I doing?
Are you bringing a sorbet?
Yeah. Where the fuck am I? Why am I?
I love how we have like them people who've done this race so many times. It's like, okay, time to go get our mains so we can get through this real quick.
I'll be right back.
Alright.
To be fair, I didn't offer to get on the main. I just got offered to get on a less shitty.
Is Keys coming back?
I think so.
I think he had something come up.
I think so.
I think that was someone else, but I don't know.
No, Keys had some. Alright guys, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. So use the restroom, get a drink, get a snack, do anything like that. Go ahead and do it now.
Chocolate caramel drizzled cheesecake.
Chips and dip.
Chips and dick?
Chips and dip.
Dick.
With the
What the
P.
fuck? So you like cut off a bunch of dicks and grind them up and make them into dip?
Yes.
I think they tried that on Good Mythical Morning.
You know, with where my mind goes, I'm surprised I'm not actually more insane than I already am.
Shoot. For years.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm the only normal person on this.
Who says I was normal?
I goddamn know I'm not normal.
I'm
my bad,
perfectly
wrong
normal
intro.
to me.
The MG34 is just such an
Everyone
old
else that
weapon,
has
I
a
thought we were
problem
doing
with the way I
World War
am.
II in depth. Let's do the real Modern Warfare in depth intro. Hey guys, Drifter here, welcome to Modern Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the MG34 LMG. Even though this is a World War II weapon, it's in Modern Warfare because current day insurgents, terrorists, Taliban, whatever, still use surplus World War II weapons in various capacities. I mean, they actually still use Kar-98, MG34, and even some Sturmgewehrs out there. So it's kind of crazy, but in the context of Modern Warfare, the game, it's a decent weapon with the right attachments, but the open bolt part of it is painful. One of the first things you'll notice about the MG34 is that since it's open bolt, the receiver has to slam forward before it shoots when you pull the trigger, which is a realistic thing, but there's a fraction of a second of a delay between when you pull the trigger and when it starts shooting, which is very difficult for me to deal with. And my overall opinion is that a specialized approach to this weapon is a very bad idea. I found that the more balanced approach when it comes to attachments was much better, but let's get into why, starting with the damage. It has 34 to 30 damage if you're shooting somebody in the upper chest, and that's sort of pecs and up. However, if you hit them below the pecs, abs all the way down to groin, limbs of any kind, that's going to be 31 to 28 damage. So upper chest is a 3-shot kill. Lower than that is a 4-shot kill, which can make the weapon feel a bit inconsistent. And unfortunately, headshots cannot 2-shot kill. Headshot damage will still be 3 at 46 to 42, depending on how far away you are from the enemies. What this means is that the MG34 will inconsistently 3-shot kill. And it's honestly safer to bet on 4 shots to kill when you're trying to like gauge whether you can take a guy down or what the situation is. Just bet on 4 shots to kill, especially since the weapon has very high vertical recoil. While you will get some of those upper chest hits via the nature of the recoil,
You should
most
just
players,
get seals on
myself
all
included,
your
are
characters.
incentivized to start aiming lower and get some of those lower, lesser damage hits, which
I
aren't as
do
great.
try to
Let's
do
talk about the
that,
range of
but
this
when
3-shot
you
kill,
have
shall we? That
7
sounds pretty
ults
nice.
you're playing,
The base 3-shot
you
kill
just
range
forget
is less than spectacular at 30 meters. However, if you use the FSS Brute
So am
barrel,
I
which is the
tanking or
equivalent
DPSing?
long barrel on this
You're
weapon,
tanking.
it'll go up to 36 meters, so like
With good old
20%
Resto?
gain, but overall nothing special, nothing
No.
worth
Yeah.
equipping, in
Young
my opinion. In my opinion, the longer barrels on this weapon are best
That's
served
it.
to
Old,
reduce your
as
recoil
in
and less so for boosting your
OLE,
range.
not
Well, let's
old,
talk
as
about
in
something that the
OOD.
MG34 does have going on, and that is rate of fire.
Come on,
The
y'all,
rate of
you
fire
should- you
is
should know that I would never
820
call
rounds per
Resto
minute,
old.
which is very
know,
fast for LMGs, that's
OLE
fast
is
for
just
SMGs,
French
that's
for
fast for
old,
rifles.
right?
That's just fast
Yes,
in
I
general.
know.
This gun
So it's the
spits
same
out
thing,
bullets and
like,
puts lead
you're
down range
arguing a
like
moot
no
point.
other, and that really
I
is
argue
its
of the
strongest
shittiest
attribute.
things I can
Having a
think
high rate
of.
of fire means you're going to get more
you
hits
blind?
on when you swipe over a target. It
No,
means
I'm
that
a
if you miss a
brunette.
few shots, it's less punishing to your time to kill, and your follow-ups are easier. And generally, high rate of fire weapons are just good. But
like
unfortunately,
all
what this
you
does to the
people
weapon
stupid
is it
shit.
gives it a very inconsistent time to kill. 3-shot kills are very fast time to kill. It's a hyper-competitive, awesome, top-tier T1, use it all the time weapon if you get those 3-shot kills. 4-shot kills, unfortunately, are going to be slower. The range of this weapon is not ideal, so at a lot of ranges it's 4 shots no matter what. Having the trigger delay or open bolt thing going on really sucks because that adds time to your time to kill unless you start pulling the trigger before you're ready to shoot and kind of preempting and guessing, which
can I
I
get a
am
summon
really
one
poor
of
at, so I
these
generally don't
guys?
do. And it's
I
generally slow
want 10
handling, so
pounds
there's
of
a
cocaine.
lot of difficulties with this weapon. It's one of these really max min kind of things that in the right hands can be awesome, but in less experienced hands or in rougher situations can be near useless. However, like most of the LMGs, it has very slow handling, so we will spend the majority of this episode talking about aim down sights and sprint out time after our Astro promo, of course. Today's is very simple. I wanted to let you guys know that instead of the Astro website, you can pick these things up on
Ready
Amazon,
checking to see who's
often
AFK.
at an even greater discount. For example, here's for $120 the Astro A40 TRX Edition headset, which is just a fantastic overall value. And Amazon is personally my preferred place to shop. I don't really go to physical stores too much. I got on here today literally recording and noticed that the Astro A10 is $37, which is a redonkulous discount. That is, it's supposed to be so much more than that. And then you even have A20s at $100. So if you've been holding out on this, if you don't care about buying directly from the website, if you're already an Amazon customer, there's great deals on Astro products on Amazon, and I would recommend it anytime you want to use it. I put my own Amazon affiliate link down there below in the description, so you can click that and I'll get paid like 1% of the sales or whatever. But yeah, Amazon's good, Astro's good, and let's get back to the rest of In Depth. So, aim down sights times. Unfortunately, the base aim down sight time on the MG34 is very slow at 500 milliseconds. The FSS Brute is 516, so it's only slightly slower. The FSS Stubby is 416, which is a pretty significant improvement. The FSS Elite, which is supposed to improve aim down sights time, for some reason I measured even slower aim down sights time. Again, maybe I'm drunk, maybe I did this wrong, but I did it live on stream, and we didn't... It was confusing, but the data appeared to be correct, and the TAC laser will drop it down significantly to 416 as well. But that's not all. There are a lot of attachments for this weapon that affect its mobility. Let's talk about the magazines and a few other things. You can increase the magazines up to 75 rounds, magazine size that is, or 100 rounds, and neither of them seem to affect the base aim down sights time. Those are still 500 milliseconds. You're just going to run a little bit slower.
Like 6.
The stippled grip tape will reduce your aim down sights time only a little bit to 466, adding no stock or...
How do you have 6 couples? I only have 3.
You know, in my fiance's record, we only have 0.
Actually, no, there's 8. There's 2 in each door. There's 2 in the center console. There's 2 in the back seat, and then there's 2 on the side doors.
Wrath.
Yeah?
Why do you have an orgy truck?
In case anybody gets really thirsty.
Oh yeah.
Charlie and Holly would love my truck.
Oh boy.
I'm sure.
Caddy them around and they could have like a whole bunch of beers.
On other good news, I am no longer found on the road dead.
That's good.
I don't own a Ford anymore.
Oh, okay, now we get it.
So you're not first on race day.
Yeah, I own a Ram.
So you found a new truck then?
Yeah, I went from 97 to 2016.
Sweet.
I have a 99.
Quite the upgrade.
Yeah. And it was only 19 grand.
It couldn't be as bad as a 2010
For the
Honda
close quarters combat stock
Genesis
are also both
blowing a timing
456, so
chain
not massive improvements there.
about a month
However,
and a half
the stippled
ago.
grip tape does do other things, such as affecting the sprint
That's
out
a fun
time.
fix though.
Sprint out time on this weapon is pretty slow at 366
Yeah, no, it's not.
milliseconds. That's right where you're going to really start
Not only
struggle
that,
busting
it
in
also-
close quarters. The
Right.
stippled grip tape cuts it pretty
The
significantly
cylinders,
down to
too.
300, and the 5 milliwatt laser
I need the
drops
whole
it
new
down
motor.
to 266, which is an
Yeah.
awesome, colossal,
But you also talking
god-tier
someone who
improvement
fixed-
on this weapon if
who
you're doing close
one
quarters
fixed his
combat.
truck up
There's
so many
really
times
nothing better than the
and
5
just got
milliwatt
used to
laser.
fixing
And because of its high
cars
rate of
for a
fire,
while,
and that
then I
tightens up your
actually
hip fire,
would
it makes it
enjoy
not such a
doing
bad hip
that.
fire weapon either, so it's something to keep in mind.
I'm the
However, in
opposite.
general,
I've fixed my
overall, you
broke-ass
cannot
truck so
make
many
the
times, I'd
MG34 a
rather
fast
never
handling
work on
weapon,
another
and
vehicle.
trying to make it faster in reaction time
Well, this
will
thing,
ruin
I
your
like
recoil.
fixing
It will
stuff
make
up,
it
so it's a
nearly
good thing I'm
impossible
going
to
to
hit
fix up
anything,
airplanes
and no matter how fast
to
you
make
make
sure
the
they
weapon,
fly
you still
right.
have to deal with that open bolt receiver nonsense delay, which I find very, very frustrating. So in my opinion, trying to make this a speed weapon is
I don't
not a
have
good
enough money
idea.
to lease
Let's talk
new
about the
one.
recoil on this old gun. It is
I
mostly
think
vertical,
Valley
but it
still
kind of
AFK.
comes in 2 different waves. It took me a little bit to get
damn
the hang
sure
of
don't
on
have good
stream.
enough credit.
Essentially, the first about 5
Don't worry,
shots
I'm
are
right there
going to
with
kick
you,
a
man.
lot, mostly vertical, and then there's minimal vertical recoil. So the first
I don't
just
wanna go
little
away.
fraction of a
You're
second you
supposed to
shoot,
carry
it's going
me
to go
to
up
the-
super hard, and you're going to want to pull down super hard to compensate, and then it's going to go back to lower recoil, and you're going to pull down too much and overcompensate. It takes some getting used to. There's really, it is predictable, thankfully, but there's a real trick in mastering this weapon and getting good at placing your shots.
The hell?
This difference,
Oh my
plus the
God.
open bolt trigger delay, can make
What?
it feel very awkward. It can be difficult to shoot people when you
But
want
I'm
to
ready.
track your
I clicked
targets,
ready.
to react appropriately. There's a lot of things about the MG34 that are just overall awkward in terms of handling, and
Do
I
another
find
ready
very
check.
difficult because I like
we
fast,
miss him?
snappy, aggressive rushing weapons. However, let's talk about the iron sights. Some people love these iron sights, and I will admit that the actual sights themselves aren't too bad, but I can pretty much never see what I'm shooting at because the muzzle flashes are so bright, and that giant bar on the left-hand side is a little bit more distracting than I thought it would be, even though it's not on the actual sight itself exactly. But generally, a lot of people like to hide in the dark. You know, we've got dark corner McDougal's in this game, and the lighting's really harsh, so adding those bright muzzle flashes can be really, really hard. I strongly prefer some kind of optics on this weapon. Magazine size is 50, but as we discussed earlier, you can boost it up to 75 or 100 with no ADS penalties, but there are some movement speed penalties that come along with that. Reload time's an important one. This gun has a punishingly, painfully, brutally slow reload time at 7.82 seconds, which is the slowest in the entire game. It's pretty slow with sleight of hand too. There's not really a way to make this better or faster. It's just gonna be slow, and that part of the weapon you're just gonna have to deal with. It's not ideal in any capacity, but that's just the game we're playing. And if you want to use the MG34, you better
Stack
be
up
really
the bubbles.
judicious with your ammunition.
Stack
Most of the light
up.
machine guns, wall bangs are possible due to LMG bullet penetration, but since this is a lower damage LMG, the damage on the other side of the wall is going to be, of course, proportionally lower, so you'll need a lot of shots to kill, but it can definitely still kill people. And in my opinion, the MG34 is a surprisingly reliable ground war weapon, but it struggles in core modes because it can't be kitted to be fast enough to be effective. And I kept trying to make this weapon, it's like, alright, I'm going to make it a long-range laser beam, counter sniper kind of thing like the PKM, and that doesn't really work because it kicks too much and trigger delay, and like, okay, well I'm going to make it this close range, close quarters combat, rush around, hip fire, Rambo style LMG, and that doesn't really work because
I'm all the way in the back, I'm green.
because it's just going to be a slow weapon and then the recoil gets too bad to hit anything. And after some struggling, I decided to make a more, what's the right word?
Everybody take a look where those
I
corals
decided
are.
to
We
go
only
with
got
a
2 more.
balanced class, one that tries to optimize and gets a
Stack
little
bubbles.
bit of the best of everything. And when I did that, it became a much better and much more effective weapon. So I'm going to share with you my favorite balanced class setup. I like the Viper optics on this weapon. Honestly, the more I use the Viper optics, the more I started to like them over the GI Mini Reflex. They're just, they're nice and clear, and I enjoy them. I use the close quarters combat stock. It cuts my aim down sight speed a little bit, but doesn't give me any recoil penalties. I use the stippled grip tape to further cut that aim down sights time and shave a little bit off of the sprint off time with minimal penalties, pretty much just aiming stability. Then I put on the Ranger foregrip and the compensator to reduce that recoil, which can
Why
be a little
is
bit
this
awkward.
thing a girl?
And what I'm effectively trying to do is cut the vertical recoil because it's mostly vertical. I can handle the horizontal. I just don't want to kick above the
I
enemy.
can't help it. I ask
weapon.
Miss Al
I don't
that
play the
every
barrels
time
at
we
all on this
fight
gun
her.
because I didn't find
Do
any
you
that were
never watch
effective.
like
I
the
don't care if
opening
it's
scenes
suppressors, 'cause
of
it's
this
not gonna
when you
matter,
watch?
or sleight of hand isn't going to matter that much. I found with this class, you effectively have a
That's
pure
Priscilla
bonus weapon
Ashbane,
that has a
like
better
that
sight,
weird
it
alliance
handles a little
chick
bit
who like
faster, and it kicks a
has
little
a
bit less,
thing against the
and it's
Proud
overall
War.
easier to use.
Like
I got
when you
really good
first
results with
come
this,
in
and I think
and
you will
you
too. Guys,
and
that's all
down
for this
the
episode.
bubbles
I
for
hope that you
her.
learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and
Like
subscribe.
if you
Bye,
get here
Master
quick
Headset.
enough, you
Drifter out.
can actually
Kill the
get
bubbles.
transformed into that from a human.
What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another attachment breakdown for Modern Warfare. In this one, we're going to be covering all of the laser sights and exactly what they do to the various guns in this game, because they don't actually behave the same for all of the weapon class types. So let's not mess around, let's just hop right into it and start it off with the 1 milliwatt laser. With this one, we can use it on assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, pistols, and shotguns. Although it does behave completely different for shotguns, and we'll look at that in just a second. But keep in mind, the 1 milliwatt laser can't be used on sniper rifles or marksman rifles. So with this, the description says that you gain hipfire accuracy, and there are no cons to this. Now, I did the testing on this and measured the diameter of the hipfire spread, and for assault rifles and SMGs, the 1 milliwatt laser will reduce your hipfire spread diameter by 15%, which is a pretty small reduction, but it is noticeable. As for LMGs and pistols, you actually get a little bit more of a reduction to your hipfire spread with this laser. You get a 20% reduction to the diameter. So overall, for the regular guns at least, this is actually a really nice attachment.
Don't worry about corals.
Especially
Just
if you just happen to have that extra
stay.
attachment slot available and you don't know what to use.
God, my lock is slow as hell.
Got her. Joe.
Oh, time to get back to my rogue.
I got a pet.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, stupid.
Sadly, I won't.
Damn it. Where was the ring?
Oh, crap, baskets.
Good luck on anybody who's going for the coral.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, that's a miss.
I got lucky.
Oh. Resto got the best ring.
Charlie.
Hmm?
Oh. Yeah?
Hey mate, you want to invite me back to the group?
Thor, who are you asking? Oh.
Wait, what?
Tony, do you need that chest?
No, not really. I was gonna give it up.
You mind putting it up?
Gotta get rid of my 390 chest piece.
Wait, if Death Crow's switching characters, we're down to 1 tank.
Yeah, I don't know if Keys is coming back.
I thought DQ was tanking. And
He was. Well, he tanked for that one boss.
Yeah,
This
I
is
thought
a
I was
great
just thinking
choice
that one
because there are
boss.
literally no downsides to this.
That's what I
You
thought.
can't see that red
He's
laser, that's only visible to you, and you get a bit of
Okay.
an improvement to your
Okay, I thought I was
fire
just
spread.
thinking for that one
As for
boss. I
shotguns,
was
though,
like,
the 1 milliwatt laser
sweet,
does
hey,
something
go back in,
completely different. It has
distance
no
road.
impact on your
Yeah,
hipfire
it was
spread,
like,
but instead,
put down
it
to one
slightly
thing.
improves
Oh.
your sprint out time, and based on my testing, your sprint out
I
speed
just
will
didn't
be
know if
roughly
Keith was gonna be
15% faster when using the 1 milliwatt laser. Keep in mind throughout this video, when I'm doing sprint out and aim down sight testing, it is all
you
going to
can't
be
roll on it,
approximate
DQ.
values, just because with hand testing
know, I'm
at
just
60
trying to get all the
FPS,
shitty rolls
there
out
are
now.
definitely
Oh,
some
wait,
limitations
sorry,
there
that
when
was on a
measuring
roll.
such small values in the first place. But based on my testing, you sprint out about 15% faster with the shotguns, which is a nice little boost to your sprint out time, and sprint out is very important when it comes to using shotguns. But that covers it for the 1 milliwatt laser.
I
That
think
one's
it's
pretty
just Romeo
straightforward, and it's
QT.
nice because there's no
Mike's
downsides
roll
on
was
it.
for the
Now
helm.
let's move on to the next one. This is the 5 milliwatt laser. And with this one, you get improved hipfire accuracy as well as improved sprint out time for all of the guns that you can use this on. However, this one does have a downside to it, and this is that laser is visible to enemy players. So they might see that laser before you come around a corner,
need a
and they have
summons.
plenty of time to prepare for you. I've gotten tons and tons of kills in this game just because I know an enemy's coming because I can see their laser before I can actually see
When
them.
don't you need
So it is
anything
something you
from us,
have to be
man?
aware of while using
Well,
this. But having said that, a lot of people are
I
confused
put a
about the
closet down
laser's
already.
behavior with the 5 milliwatt laser.
Yeah.
The way it works is your laser is always visible unless you are sprinting or if you're aiming down
Garage,
sights.
what
As soon
were
as you
you
perform
rolling
one
on?
of those actions, the laser actually completely turns off. Initially, I thought when you're sprinting, the gun just turns to the side and therefore the laser isn't visible in front of you. But when I took a closer look,
Yeah.
it turns out the
Hold
laser
on, I
actually
can-
completely
are you
turns
in the
off
instant?
as soon as you engage sprinting. Same thing applies when you're aiming down sight. So if you are using the 5
Alright,
milliwatt
I'll
laser
just
and you're in a
pull it. No
situation
one come
where
in
you're
with
worried
me.
an enemy might be seeing your
I guess
laser,
someone's face.
you can always just aim down sight or start sprinting.
This should pull
Now
you
that I
all
know
down.
this, I'm actually a lot more inclined to start using the 5 milliwatt laser more often because it does have some
Risky.
great upsides that we'll look at in a second, and you can
So I just
actually
see- I just
control
noticed
when
something.
your laser is visible to an extent. But let's hop into the upsides of this. The first upside
If you
is that
somehow get
improved
locked
hipfire
out of the raid
accuracy,
fight,
and
you
you
still
actually
get
get
to
a
phase
bigger
2.
boost with the 5 milliwatt than you do with the 1 milliwatt in this area. For assault rifles and SMGs, you get a
What it looks
25%
like.
reduction to the diameter of your hip spread, which is quite solid, and with LMGs and pistols, you get a 30% reduction, which is very noticeable. As for shotguns, you also get a very slight reduction to your hipfire spread at 12%, which is hardly even noticeable, but it's also something that they have to be careful with balancing when it comes to shotguns, because having a super tight hipfire spread can become overpowered pretty quickly. So that's the first upside with this laser, and like I said, this is a much better improvement to your hipfire spread than with the 1 milliwatt laser. Now let's look at the second pro, and this is an improvement to your sprint out time. It turns out for assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, and pistols, we get a roughly 10 to 20% increase to our sprint out speed. Again, I can't be pinpoint accurate with this testing since it is just tested at 60 FPS. That's the best I can do with my console.
There's
But
a
just know,
repair
with the
bot in
regular
the back
guns, it's
room.
roughly 10 to 20%. However, with shotguns, we get an even bigger boost to our sprint out speed. With these, this laser allows you to sprint out about 35% faster, which is very noticeable and very helpful on shotguns. So overall, the 5 milliwatt laser absolutely has some good power to it, but you always have to be aware about that laser interaction and where your laser is pointing and when it's turned on and visible to enemy players. As a result, I do use this laser pretty sparingly, and I basically only put it on classes where I'm
Johnny,
going to
can you
be
yell at me,
hyper-aggressive
please?
and basically constantly sprinting. So on like shotgun classes, for instance, or some of my SMG classes where I'm trying to be super aggressive. So finally, this just leaves us
That
with
was a
one
really
last
weak
laser
yell,
attachment,
though.
and this is the tack laser. With this one, we actually get 3 upsides, but also another
You're not a
downside.
lion.
And let's first talk about that downside. Once again, the
You also
downside
not
is the
Katy
laser
Perry.
is visible to enemies. However, it's a
Meow.
completely different interaction with the tack laser.
Iron
With this
lizard.
one, your laser is only activated while aiming down
Since when
sight.
could
So it's kind of
lizards
the
meow?
opposite as with the 5 milliwatt laser.
You know-
so if you're
She
ever worried
became
about
the
enemies
lizard.
potentially seeing
Yes,
your laser,
I am
just
the
don't
lizard.
aim down sight.
You should know this.
Personally,
have
I find
macro.
this to be a lot easier to control, like when you're actually exposing yourself with the laser.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't
Since you
know that.
actively have to
Yeah,
aim down
No,
sight
I
to
have a
activate
macro.
it, whereas with the 5 milliwatt, that's always on
I have a
unless you're
macro,
aiming down
and I
sight.
can't
In
do
either
my
case, let's get
macro.
into the pros. The
Right.
first
Oh,
pro with the
'cause I
tack
do have
laser is it
deep.
improves your aim down sight speed, and it turns out this is the same across the
Charlie,
board based on all my
look,
testing.
I'm shirtless
It will
for
improve
you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
5,
I'll send you a dick pic later.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Oh yeah. Sorry. That's
Don't stand in stupid. Well,
And in the cracks of the blue circle is dribbling Icar.
2,
Get resto up.
I'm getting it.
Oh. Damn.
Dribbling Icar in 5 seconds. Try and stand in between the cracks of all the big blue circles on the ground. You're gonna be
Stand-
moving left and then right and then left.
send in the Icar. It's a haste.
as soon as the ads come out, and there will be ads coming out, make sure you kill them, but don't kill them at the same time, because tank is so puddled that spawns after they die.
It's fine to kill them at the same time, but they're stacked.
Just don't stand in the puddle yourself if you're not tank.
It's a haste buff.
Let's rinse and repeat from there. Does dribbling Icar, stand in the cracks, ads come out. When he gets to 40% health, he's gonna go behind the door there, go down the ramp. Don't touch any of the boost rolls, you'll get knocked off. You're dead. But you do have to race down to the bottom.
You do have to beeline it.
When you get down there, do not interrupt the boss. Leave that for the tech.
Yeah, if you interrupt the boss before everybody's down there, you will kill everyone. And there'll be a lot of
Who's on
angry
the ramp?
people.
That's so enticing.
3.
A lot of G kicks too.
Add 2.
This fight on LFR is just troll central.
Ads coming
Yeah,
out now.
this car.
Taunt boss. Taunt boss.
If you're getting aggroed, move him to the tank.
Please
Can we get Resto up?
No
Nope.
res.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Timer on it.
Minute 40.
Jesus Christ.
30.
That's gonna be a wipe.
Taunt boss.
I'm dead.
I feel like we should just wipe it here.
Yeah, wipe it.
Hard because there's no like actual.
I'm gonna spread AIDS to everybody.
Oh, what a what AIDS?
3.
Wait, we're spreading the AIDS? Okay.
I want hepatitis. That's what I want.
Did you hear the joy in her voice?
4, 3.
I know.
I know,
like,
she
you-
sounded like so gung-ho about it.
Like, it makes me think that you just fucking go on the streets, finding people, and just spread AIDS to them now.
Hey!
Just like rubs up against random ass people.
Your aim down sight speed by roughly 15%. Again, this is a rough number, so give or take a little bit, but right around 15%, which is absolutely very noticeable, especially on guns that already aim down sight fairly slow. So like sniper rifles and LMGs, for instance, this is an excellent attachment for reducing your aim down sight time. When it comes to something like SMGs, though, 15% of a really small
One
number
of the Demon
already
Hunters is gonna have to
kind of harder
down.
to notice,
Do their thing.
and therefore it's less
Yeah.
useful
Stop
in my
popping
opinion,
down,
on those
friends.
guns.
Let the demon
So that's the
hunters
main
go.
benefit of using the tack laser, at least in my opinion. Although the next one is it
Valley,
improves
no,
your aiming
why?
stability. So this is how much your gun is going to move around while aiming down sight. And just looking at a side-by-side comparison here, on the left is without tack laser, on the
What's up,
right
Sin?
is with the tack laser.
What's up,
And I used
people?
an SMG specifically
Come on,
because
man.
SMGs tend to
got
have
back.
less aiming stability in the
Get
first
fun?
place. And
Yeah,
you can
I did.
definitely tell there is a slight
Took-
improvement to your aiming stability
Yep,
with the
took
tack
my
laser
family,
on. However,
went and
it's
saw
not
my
like it
family
completely
and,
eliminates it by any
got
means.
to
I
take
would
my
consider
fiance
this
to
to be
meet
a pretty
said
slight
family,
change
so
to your aiming
it
stability.
went pretty.
As for the final upside to using the tack laser, this one does go hand in hand with the last one. This is your aim walking stability. So it's sort of the same idea, how much your sights are moving, but this time while aiming down sight and walking. And once again, having a look at side by side, on the left is without tack laser, on the right is with tack laser.
Hey, Mitt.
And again, it's a similar story.
What's up?
There is absolutely
put a marker
slight
right around
improvement
where
to
you
the
want
stability
the
of your weapon while aiming down
Zoetroids
sight and
to
strafing.
be?
However, it's not like it completely
Yeah.
eliminates
Just
it
so
or
all the
anything.
DPS
It's just
know
a
where
slight
to take them
improvement
if
in
they
this
start getting
area.
targeted.
So overall with the tack laser, the primary benefit is absolutely going to be your aim down sight time, and it's a decent boost to your aim down
Right where
sight
the
time. You
marker
just
is.
have to always be aware that if you are aiming down sight,
everybody see
the
that?
enemies can see that laser. But with that pretty much covers it for all of the
So,
laser sight attachments that we
don't
have in
they start
Modern
hitting any
Warfare,
Zoetroid you
and
feel
in my
like
opinion,
watch the one that
1
the
laser
tank is
is a
pulling,
great universal
attack that
attachment
one
if you
first,
just happen to
and let the
have that
tank do the
extra slot
taunting, otherwise
available
those
for an
Zoetroids are
attachment
just
and you
gonna go
don't want to
everywhere.
make your weapon any worse
gonna pull the
because
boss
it's got
first,
no
like every
downsides, only upsides. Having said that, if you're trying to get a little bit more specialized with your class setup, if you're being hyper aggressive, the 5mW laser is a great choice. Otherwise, I probably would stay away from it because you're just going to be giving away
So
your
set
position
focus on
way too
restorativity,
easily. And
all
finally, with the
DPS.
tack laser, this one is best suited to guns that have a very slow
DPS do
aim down
what? I'm
sight
sorry.
time. So
Set
LMGs and
focus on
sniper rifles,
restorativity.
and
That
even
way when
some
he
of the
switches
assault
to the
rifles like
ads,
the Scar, for
we all
instance.
can
This
focus
would
the
be a
same
great
one he's
choice
doing.
just to help snap onto target a little bit more effectively.
Putting
But of
face down.
course, with this one, you do have
I'm
to be
gonna
very
focus
cautious
the
about
ones
where
he's
you're
not
pre-aiming
attacking.
because that laser is going to be visible while doing this. Now, of course, I'd like to know in the
Well,
comment
hopefully you
section
don't
below.
die.
First off, did any of these
I'm
results
just gonna
surprise you?
stay
Were you
on the
unaware of
boss.
the laser
I'm gonna
interaction,
do
for
it
instance,
because
with
I
the
can
5mW
distract
or the
them to
tack
him.
laser?
It helps.
And also, what are your thoughts on the laser
works.
attachments? Do you like using them on your guns, or do you typically stay away from them? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, if you guys are interested in any of the other
just
attachment
looking-
breakdowns,
Resto-
I'll leave
or
those links
not
down
Resto.
below because I have
Thor, I
covered
got-
quite a few of them, and I
Flask.
have been seeing a lot of questions pop up
Does
about certain
everybody
attachments that I've already covered.
Understand
so
how
make
the
sure you check
dribbling
those out
Icar
if you
works
haven't
now? The
already.
big blue
If you
circle.
enjoyed the video, like rating,
Give me a
and
second.
Stop standing.
and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Or rather, does anybody not get it? Valley, you know damn right.
What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Modern Warfare has a camping problem. And you can probably already tell this is going to be a pretty heavily opinionated video, unlike a lot of my other videos where I'm just sharing how the game works. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I feel is a pretty big problem
Target
with
the
Modern
add-on
Warfare.
first,
Now, I don't want this
always.
video to be a camper hate video, and if you want to camp, by all means, that's fine with me. My problem is more so with the game design actively encouraging slower and camping playstyles, while actively discouraging the more aggressive playstyles. And this isn't about whether or not I'm able to adapt to this playstyle, because I am, and I have, and I can get my streaks up fairly easily by just going into a power position, throwing some claymores down, and locking that down. It's quite easy to do that. Only problem is, I don't enjoy doing that, and I don't feel that particular playstyle should be as dominant as it currently is. Now, before this game came out, one of the things that Infinity Ward was constantly saying in interviews and stuff was that they wanted to make all playstyles viable again. And they were referring to the fact that in many of the recent Call of Duty games, they have moved into a much more rush-heavy sort of a playstyle, where being aggressive and rushing and having really good twitch aim and gun skill was heavily rewarded, and these slower-paced playstyles and locking down power positions had been pushed to the background a lot more. So going into this game, I fully expected a slower paced game, I expected more campers, I expected that playstyle to be viable again, just like it was back in the old Modern Warfares. I remember back to Modern Warfare 2, you could camp so hard in that game with double claymores and you had Scavenger to replenish those claymores. You could do that if you wanted to, so I was expecting something similar to that with Modern Warfare, and I'm ready to adapt to that. However, I feel like in the game's current state, they took this so far in the other direction that it's not making every playstyle viable. Instead, they've made the camping playstyle dominant, and they've pushed the more aggressive playstyles into the background. Now, some people really like this style of play, and that's totally fine. I don't want them to completely take that style of play away from people, but like I said, I just feel like they cranked the knob way too far in that direction, to the point where this isn't even recognizable as a Call of Duty game. I've seen some people say that, oh, it's finally back to the old Modern Warfare trilogy and that style of play, and that is not the impression I get at all. I played the crap out of the original Modern Warfare trilogy, and I've gone back several times throughout the years as well, so I know how those games play, and none of them cater as heavily towards camping and punish aggressive play nearly as much as Modern Warfare does. So today, I wanted to address various aspects of this game that are contributing to this camping problem that I see, and I wanted to provide some constructive feedback and criticism as to what I personally would like to see changed to bring it back and truly make all playstyles equally viable again. So the first factor that's contributing very heavily to the camping problem in this game is the map design. The maps in this game tend to be not so linear, a lot of verticality to them, very porous, as the developers themselves described it. It's porous to help the lesser skilled players, that's the developers' words, and there's plenty of power positions, lines of sight, visual clutter, and open spaces that you have to get through to get out of spawn or get to objectives. All of this in combination is definitely contributing to the camping issue. The most effective way to play on most of these maps is to get yourself to a power position and then stay there for as long as possible until someone eventually kills you out of that power position. Now the thing about map design though is not much can or will change with the current maps that are in the game. Now sure, it's probably possible that they could like board up a window or add a piece of cover here or there, and who knows, maybe we'll see something like that in the future, but I'm not going to bet on that, and as a result, I've already accepted the fact that these are the maps that are in the game, and I will have to adapt to them. And that's okay, I will adapt to that. However, one thing that's contributing to a lot of the issues that relates to map design as well is the spawns. and the spawns are in a very rough state at this point in the game's
No,
life
he
cycle.
sacrificed
This is something that I
himself
do
for me
anticipate
so I
will
could
improve
faint
over
up.
time as they get a lot of data.
Animal
I've actually
cruelty.
noticed that the beta maps, the spawns are actually not as bad on the beta maps on average compared to the other maps, and this is likely due to the fact that they had that time to collect
Feast
all
going
that
down.
data during the beta,
He's a
and
rough
therefore they've
fucking
made those necessary
porcupine, and he
adjustments.
loves
Whereas
me.
with the maps that we haven't played in the beta, they're still
Imagine that was a
collecting all
thing
of
in
that
this
initial
game.
data, and therefore
That'd be
we should
horrible
expect
for
to see
hunters.
some spawn improvements as time goes on.
They
So
actually
that's something
used
that
to be
I'm
back
looking
in
forward
vanilla.
to. So within the map
If
design
your
topics,
pet-
there's really
it
not
had,
much
how
to
much
say
it liked
here,
you
not
bar.
much constructive
If it
criticism,
disliked you enough, it
aside
would
from the
just
fact
like-
that I really
Your
hope
pet
we
would
get
say,
a
"Fuck
good
you, I'm
set
out."
of DLC maps.
Yeah,
I
if
would
it- if you
love
didn't
to
feed
see
it-
some solid
if you didn't
fan
feed your
favorite
pet,
throwbacks
it
from the
would
original
go
Modern
bye-bye.
Warfare trilogy.
Oh yeah, that was
And I think
fun
that
in
would
the middle
help
of the
please
rages,
a lot of
and
us
then
in the
hunters
community
practice
that are
proof
really
saying
not
names
enjoying this
useless.
style of map design. Now, the next big factor
Or you
contributing
don't
to
bring
the
enough
camping
fucking
problem, and this is a
arrows to
pretty big
raid,
one,
so-
this is
Oh
the
my
lack of
God.
stealth
You
options
walk
in
up
this
and you're
game.
hitting it with
First
your
up,
fucking
global
weapons
footstep sounds
because
are
you're
simply
both
too loud
useless
and
now.
have too large of a radius.
That's the
You can
funny
hear
shit. You'd
people
be like on
coming
the
from
last
a mile
boss, like,
away, and I've been
"And
finding
I'm
far
out
too
here."
many
They're
people
only
just
halfway through.
sitting in a room, not even trying to lock down a line of sight or anything, just sitting in a corner, listening for footsteps.
This is gonna be the
When
last
they hear those
bull for the
footsteps
night.
coming, which they will because they're so loud, they just pre-aim
Daddy
the doorway,
White.
they know exactly when to start pre-firing, and you don't stand a chance when you enter that building. Even if you are actively crouch walking to deafen your footsteps to approach those people because you're playing smart and tactically to counter those players, your footsteps are still far too loud, they can still hear you coming just fine, and they'll pick you off and you won't stand a chance. So when it comes to global footstep audio, I would love to see that reduced across the board. I think the level that Dead Silence was at pre-patch, that seems like a pretty good level for footstep audio. If somebody's sprinting up on you, you can still hear them and prepare
But I
for them
have my
and use
music
your tactics
off
to your advantage to
in-game
take
on
them
my
out.
computer.
But if they're approaching more slowly
But I
and
have my
methodically, like
Spotify on,
crouch
and I
walking
have
for
loud music
instance,
playing through
you're going to
that,
have a
so
very
it's
hard
slow.
time hearing them coming.
it
And I
defeats
think that's how it
purpose.
should be. If you're thinking smart and tactically and approaching that situation by crouch walking in order to cut down on your footstep audio, you should be
But if
rewarded
the
for
four-year-old
that,
back to
not the
sleep,
person
though.
that's just sitting in a corner waiting
But
for
it
you.
really-
Now, on the topic of footsteps, yes, they did buff the Dead Silence field upgrade today. I made a video on it, and I will leave that link down below if you want to check out what it
She's
sounds
like,
like before and after with Dead Silence.
I said my music
But
was
they
too
made it so
loud.
Dead
Yes,
Silence
and
is
then
effectively
he-
silent
he's
now,
like,
which was a great
"Well,
change. I really
I asked her if
appreciate
she
that.
wants me to play
But
something
in my opinion,
conventional.
this isn't enough
Yep.
because you have to wait for
Okay.
this ability
Well,
to
I'm
charge
used to
up before making any sort of move. Otherwise, the enemies will be able to pinpoint
It
your
was either
exact
that or
location,
Halo,
and that's a
and-
problem.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people saying just make
Good.
Dead Silence a perk again, and while I feel that would be
I'm
the
starting
ideal
her young.
situation, I kind of doubt they're going to be doing
You're
that.
doing the
So
right
this is
thing.
why I would prefer them to just completely cut down
Yes,
on
you
the
are.
global footstep audio.
Why
And then for the
not?
people that do want to be completely Dead Silence, they've got that Dead Silence field
Gotta have
upgrade.
someone to
Perhaps they
farm
could even
for you.
buff that a little bit more and make it so you earn it more
What do I have the
often, or it
10-year-old
has
for?
a longer activation duration.
What I
Something
used to
along
do
those
with my
lines could be
nephews
done.
because they weren't
But at
allowed
the end
to
of the
get
day,
their
the
own
main
WoW
point
account.
here
They
is
always went
something
to play,
else
so I'd
needs to
let
be
them
done with
farm up.
footsteps, in my opinion, to alleviate this camping problem. The next huge problem when it comes to the lack of stealth play, and this is
It's
something that I
20 bucks.
couldn't put
Go
my finger
farm
on
some
until a
shit.
bunch of people started mentioning
I
it on
didn't pay 'em
Reddit.
shit.
These are your character callouts. So anytime you hear a character yell, "I'm reloading,"
They got-
or "contact,"
forget,
or
I have
"enemy
two
over
kids
there," or
and
something
they
like
want
that,
their own
that's
tunes, so
audible
they
to
have their
not
own
only your
tunes.
teammates, but
They don't
also
play
the
them
enemy
because
players,
they
and
can't
you have
play them.
no control over
Because they're
when your
fast
character is going to be saying those things. As a
Ads,
result,
ads,
I
ads.
feel this should not be audible whatsoever to enemy players. I've had too many situations where I was sneaking up behind somebody, I was playing tactically and approaching that situation in a tactical manner, and I decide I want to go for one of those execution kills, for instance. But when they turn around and kill me, I watch the kill cam and I can very clearly hear my character shout, "Contact!" as they're walking up behind the guy, which is just ridiculous. Now, some people will say, well, it's not realistic for your teammates to hear those callouts, but not your enemies. I would counter that with, it's not realistic that a soldier in the heat of battle that knows there's enemies in his immediate surroundings
I don't know if we're gonna get him
would
to
decide
40
to
in
randomly
time.
yell, "I'm reloading!"
We
so
may
everybody
wanna- I
around
don't
can
know.
hear it. So that one, I feel like,
Slow
is a
down
pretty
now.
easy
Get to, like,
change.
42
Just make it
and
so the
then
enemies
stop.
can't hear
Yeah, I
those
don't know.
callouts whatsoever.
Around, like,
And finally, with the lack of
Okay.
stealth, there's one other thing that I discovered is the suppressors
It's like auto attack
do not
now.
keep you off the radar when an enemy has a UAV
Uh,
up.
And
Suppressed
so
weapons
dribbling
behave
it.
exactly
Stop,
the same
stop.
when it comes
Yes.
to the compass and the
Stop.
minimap
Yeah,
as
just stop.
non-suppressed weapons in all situations. So if
Wow,
you've
you
ever
still need
used
to live-
Ghost and a suppressor,
leave enough
trying to
health with the
flank
tanks and
around the
still hit 'em.
enemies, they call a UAV in, you might be thinking, great, I'm using Ghost so I can stay off the radar. Then you get yourself into a gunfight, you kill an enemy player, maybe you completely take him off guard,
Kill the
shoot him, and he doesn't even
Focus
know what
ads.
killed him. You are now showing up on the radar for the enemy players, and there was nothing you could do to keep yourself off the radar in that situation.
I wanna die
So this
again.
definitely hinders that flanking playstyle when you're trying to sneak up on the people that are camping or locking down a power position.
Can you get the
trying to
ads?
get in behind their flank, but you get into a gunfight, and now everybody knows you're there, and your whole
We
plan
do have a
is
B-res, and he's
I'm
going
not
to be
really
going
a big
down
fan
right
of
away.
how that works in the game's current state. Now, on that topic of the minimap interaction, this brings us to
Oh,
the next
that's
reason
quick,
that
let me
I
get
feel
down.
camping is more prevalent than ever before in Modern Warfare, and this
Run,
is the
run,
fact
run.
that enemy dots don't appear on the
Avoid
radar
everything.
unless you have a UAV active. Now, I know a lot of people like the minimap this way, where they can fire their unsilenced weapon
look
all they
funny.
want, and nobody will be able to pinpoint where
You're
that
gonna
shot is
stick
coming
up your
from
ass.
exactly by just glancing at
pretty
the
much.
minimap. But at the end of the day, having those dots appear on the radar encourages movement. It makes everyone feel more comfortable and more confident moving from one
Make sure
position
everybody's
to another.
down here before
As a
you
result, I
cover
would
up,
love to see them bring
or
those
at
red
least
dots back,
most,
but at the
right?
same time,
still
buff
got a
the
bit of time
suppressors
left.
back to the way they have always
much.
been in Call of Duty, where if you fire with a suppressed weapon, you don't have a dot
Interrupt,
that appears on the radar. This sort of a trade-off
Yeah, keys
system
up,
has always
yeah.
existed in Call of Duty, and it just works in my opinion.
Are you
It's a
too
great
far up?
trade-off that you
Lost.
have. If you want to stay off the radar, use a suppressor.
Plus,
If you don't mind showing up on the radar, then great, you can use that attachment slot for something else. Making a change like this wouldn't significantly hinder the camping
Presto
playstyle.
died
It's
with
not
his,
like suddenly if you
auto-resin.
flip that switch, then rushers are going to be dominating absolutely everything.
Also-
It would just make it so people are more confident moving around
Yeah,
the map,
sold on 'em.
and it would force those people that do want to stay off the radar to trade something in exchange for that power. So that's another factor and something that I feel could definitely cut down on the camping issue in this game. Another thing that
So
contributes to
stunning.
this is the time to kill, or at least the perceived time to kill or time to death in Modern
just
Warfare
ignore the ads.
is extremely fast with some of the weapons in the game.
Make sure to jump
Now,
out
part
there.
of this is
Everyone's
partially
gonna
based
have
on the
to
fact
help
that the
soak the
connections
big,
have not
big
leveled out yet.
Everybody
At
in,
least
everybody
a lot of
in.
people, they
Nope.
have leveled out. For me, for instance, here in Norway, I'm having a ton of issues where I'm dying in the blink of an eye, yet it still takes me 3 to 4 shots to kill the enemy player, and that is purely a connection-based issue. However, part of this is also based on the fact that the headshot multiplier in this game is much higher than we're used to with the more recent Call of Duty games that we've been playing, and therefore guns like the M4A1 can kill in 3 shots instead of 4 as long as you're landing a headshot. Now, when it comes to
Get out.
time to kill, I've been seeing a lot of people call for a slower time to kill. I don't see that coming. That would require them to completely start from scratch on the weapon balancing system and completely rework how everything works and how it balances with each other, so that's not a realistic ask. One thing that's a bit more realistic, though, that I think maybe we could ask for is a slight reduction to the headshot multiplier. Not to the point where headshots don't count anymore, like we've had in the previous years, where you've only had like a 1.1 times multiplier, but instead, tune it a little bit more carefully with certain weapons, like the M4, for instance, and make it so you have to land at least 2 of your shots to the head instead of just 1 mixed in with their body shots in order to reduce the number of shots it takes to kill.
Hell yeah, I got the
This
weapon.
would cut back on some of those situations where you just get lasered by an M4 and
I would
picked
like
off
to
before
redo
you
the
even
whole
realize
night
you were
because
being
my
shot
imp
at.
decided not
And I
to
think
fight
that
the
could
whole
be a good
time.
way to cut back a little
You had
bit
it on
on some of
passive,
the
didn't you?
really fast time to kill sort of
I
situations.
didn't. It's
This
on
brings
my
us to the
bar that
next
he's
factor
on
that contributes to
assist,
the
but
camping issue in
on
this
the
game. There are a
talent
lot
thing
of
it's
them.
on. It
This one
says he's
is
on
just straight
stay,
up the
so I
movement
don't know
speed.
what's going.
While it is kind of hard to
Okay,
compare
those are
movement
2
speed
different
directly across
commands.
different
If
Call of Duty titles,
you have them on
it
sys,
really does feel like
but
the movement
the
speed in
other
this game
command says
has
stay,
been cut
then he
back
won't do
compared to
anything.
recent Call of
You
Duty
need to
games.
click that over
And this
to-
has made moving from one piece of cover to another, or crossing a street, for instance,
He is
a
on
lot
full.
more dangerous and a lot more scary.
That's what I'm
and
saying, I
therefore
don't
that
know
leads
why
people
I
to
am
simply
confused
not
what
move to that
happened.
next piece of cover, or not
Another
cross the
way to
streets,
get around
and
that
instead opt to just
is
stay in the position they're already in.
ability
Now, out of
to
all the factors
spam
I've
the
mentioned,
most,
this one's
like,
relatively
I don't know
minor.
what
I mean, it's
spec
not
you
the
are
end of
in
the world that we move a little bit
if you're
slower.
Destro.
But I just wanted to mention that if we moved a
you can
little
just
bit
macro
faster
in
overall,
your pet
perhaps
attack
people would have
to
a
that,
bit more
and that'll
incentive to
override
cross
any
that
other
street.
command. commands.
And finally,
it'll
there's
tell
one
them
last
to attack
factor I
your
wanted to
target.
mention in this video that applies to objective game modes, and this is there's no real incentive to play the
I came
objective.
up with that when I was
If I'm on a
PvPing
little
on
bit of
my
a streak
hunter,
and I'm
so
just
my
a couple
pet
kills
wouldn't be
away from
halfway
my
across the
highest kill
battleground
streak,
attacking.
and there's an opportunity to capture that B flag and domination, and I
Yeah,
see
that was
that
it for
opening,
Braid.
but
Thank you
there's
all
a
for
bit of
coming.
risk attached to it. I'm sorry, but I'm
No,
not touching that
come
B
down
flag, and
here.
I'm somebody that plays to win. I always
got
want
a
to win,
crippling 8
but the
pod,
risk
so
versus
thank you
reward just isn't there at that point. It's in my best interest to avoid that flag at that point to earn my streak, and then hopefully
y'all
my
wanna
streak will help me capture that flag afterwards, but there's no guarantee
Gonna
there.
continue
Now, yes,
tomorrow.
you can use the Point Man perk, which is a tier 2 perk. That is the most powerful tier of perks, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
feel
a
like
little
Point
late
Man is
tomorrow,
worth
so
it
we're
by
gonna be
any
driving
means, and
back
I don't
to
think